I hope you're doing well today. Happy Tuesday. So today we're going to be chatting about 5 ways that life gets better when you ditch the scale. So I hope you guys are doing well this morning, and I hope this topic is something that will help you. And so before we get started, if you guys are watching me live this morning, please say hello so I can say hi back to you. And then if you're watching on the replay, just hashtag replay so I can come back on later and say hi to you then. And then if you guys are watching on Facebook right now, I would encourage you to head on over to YouTube when this video is done. Hit the subscribe button and the bell to receive notifications for each time that I come live, which is around 10 o'clock, Monday to Friday. I'm going to bring up comments here, make sure I can see you guys if anyone's popping on. So tell me in the comments if you guys are people who use the scale. If you use the scale often, every day, how frequently do you use your scale? I used to be, let's get this out of here. I used to be a person that weighed myself multiple times a day, and I would obsess over it, and it would determine how my day would go. And I have since then unlearned how to kind of take that power away from the scale and start to just listen to my body, connect to my body, all those things that have helped me through my self-love journey. And so ditching the scale has been one of the things that has helped me to find self-love at any size. So I wanted to just chat to you guys today about 5 little ways that life will get better once you start to ditch the scale. So something that I experienced from a young age is, now that I can put a name to it, I experienced body dysmorphia as a child and a teenager. I had this idea in my head, and my mental state was telling me that I was much larger than I was, and that had a total disconnect. I had a disconnect to my body on how my body looked, and it kind of prevented or kind of like determined how I was showing up for my life based upon thinking that I was big, and that meant that I wasn't worthy, I wasn't valuable, I wasn't important, I wasn't pretty, all these things that I was telling myself. Looking back on pictures now and looking back on my life now, those are thoughts that my mind was telling me, but there was a definite disconnect between what I actually was and what my mind was telling me. And that was for a long time. Like even after an 80-pound weight loss journey, I discovered that I still felt the same about my body. My mental state and my mind were still telling me that you're fat, you're ugly, you are too big, no one will love you at this size, all these things. And it was kind of like crushing my soul in a way, because it was, I didn't want to be touched by my loved ones because I felt so bad about myself. And so like, why would anyone want to touch me? I would, shy away from those intimate situations because it was something that I didn't feel worthy enough to deserve that love. And so that was something that was kind of like my bottom or my low point of my life. And so that's when things I was able to start to change the way I thought, change my practices, change the way that I was doing things. And that helped me to kind of heal my relationship and kind of bring that connection piece back between my mind and my body. So with that, I want to share with you guys a little bit about a couple reasons why ditching the scale is going to change your life and how life is going to get better once you do that. So you may think that having a scale or weighing yourself is a good way to gauge your health. But what you might possibly be doing is letting the number on the scale dictate more in your life than you realize. And that's something I realized, is that I was letting it dictate how my day went. I was letting it dictate what food I ate. I was letting it dictate how I felt about myself that day. And those are things that were toxic and were not healthy for me to do. So my first way that life will get better once you start to ditch the scale is that your day will no longer be dictated by a number on the scale. So just to share with you my personal experience with that, when I would weigh myself every day and the number wouldn't be what I wanted it to be, I would kind of feel crappy about the start of my day. I would feel like, oh God, I gained 2 pounds this morning. My day's going to be shit. I'm not going to be able to eat anything. I'm going to have to eat less than I normally would, or I'm going to have to exercise way more because I need to get that 2 pounds off. So I would let it dictate how my day went. I would start my day feeling crappy, feeling shitty about myself, whatever you want to say. And so once you start to ditch the scale, your day will no longer be dictated by a number. And that is a super important part of a healing journey with the scale, is making sure that we can heal ourselves through that. And then a second tip for you guys, or a second way that life will get better once we ditch the scale, is that you'll start to exercise because it feels good, not to lose weight. And that is a big part of my journey as well. I used to only exercise to lose weight. I would only do certain exercises because they had a certain calorie value that I would lose, which meant I could eat more. And so I was only exercising not because it felt good for me and that I enjoyed it. I exercised because I had a goal in mind, and that I felt so overtaken by the scale that it determined what exercise I did that day. So I think when you start to ditch the scale, you'll start to exercise because it feels good. And I can attest to that, because once I have ditched the scale, I do exercise because I love it. Like, I love to do yoga. I love to kayak. I love to go for walks. I like to, all those kind of things. Like, those are the things I love to do. So that's what I do. And so you kind of lose that piece of you. As you kind of let the scale kind of own you, you lose those pieces of yourself that you may have once loved, things you used to love to do, but you felt you couldn't because it didn't have the calorie value attached to it. So, or the calorie loss, I should say. So yoga was something that I would never, ever, ever do because I associated that with, I don't move my body enough and I don't burn enough calories, and, it's not high intensity enough. So I'm not doing that. So it prevented me from finding yoga a lot sooner than I could have if I would have been able to ditch the scale. And then another tip for you guys to be able to kind of learn about how life will get better once we ditch the scale is you'll learn how to trust your body. And this is a super important part too. Like I said, if you've experienced any of the kind of things that I'm talking about, you will realize that there becomes a disconnect from your body to your mind, your body to your spirit, whatever you want to say, when you're obsessed with the scale and having your life being determined by that scale. Once you remove yourself from that scale and kind of break up that relationship, then you're able to start to learn to trust your body more and listen into your body and what it needs and what it doesn't need, and how it feels good with certain things and not so good with other things. Like the other day, because I am on my healing journey with eating. Like, it's still something that I am currently working on, and I am helping people with what I know that I've learned so far. But something that I noticed the other day is I had some craft dinner with my kids, and after I ate it, I'm just like, I really don't feel good after I eat craft dinner. Like, it kind of makes me my tummy doesn't feel good. And so I noticed that you start to notice what makes your body feel good and what doesn't, through, of course, my practices are through mindful eating or intuitive eating. But when you kind of let the scale lose the power that it has over you, then you're able to start to trust your body based upon what your body's telling you rather than what the number on the scale says. So that kind of moves us into our next kind of way that ditching the scale will help us to have to make life better is we'll stop obsessing over slight weight fluctuations. Because if you are a woman or a man, you will notice that weight fluctuates very frequently. Like, if you were to weigh yourself 5 times during the day, your weight would be different every time you stepped on that scale, based upon what you ate, what you drank, how much fluid you're holding on to, how much inflammation you have. Like, there's all these different factors that play into why our weight would be more or less or whatever it is throughout the day. So you'll learn to stop obsessing over those fluctuations and just that won't be something you have to worry about, right? So it just takes that totally out of the picture, which is amazing. So you're not stuck to thinking of like, oh my gosh, I'm like 5 pounds heavier than I was this morning. It's like, well, yeah, you ate food, you drank water. Like those are things that are bound to happen. So you'll be able to stop doing that, which is a really beneficial thing. And then my 5th tip for you guys on how life will get better once you ditch the scale is you might improve your self-worth. And how amazing would that be? Because I know as women, especially, we tend to be really hard on ourselves, which I know men are too, but we often have really low self-worth about ourselves and how worthy we feel. And we have to realize, and something that I have learned, is that weight does not tell me weight is not an indication of how kind I am or how smart I am or how valuable I am. My weight has nothing to do with those qualities. Those things are how my attitudes and how I show up for life and how I love my people and how I show up for this world. And my weight has nothing to do with that. And for so long, I let my life be held back based upon a number on the scale. I would always say, oh, well, I'd love to do this, but I have to be smaller. Like, I never thought I could help women or people with what I'm helping them with now until I felt I was a certain weight. I thought, okay, once I'm the success story and I've lost all the weight and I've lost all the inches and I've lost all the fat, then I'll be able to teach people how to get this happiness, this key that we all think that we need to unlock in order to be ourselves and to show up for life. I never thought I could do that before. I thought I had to get to that insane place in my life on changing who I was in order to help people, because that's always what I wanted to do. I remember 10 years ago, I wanted to lose all the weight so then I could coach women and help them to feel good about themselves too. But once I kind of lost the weight and realized I was still unhappy and that I hadn't fixed that part of my inner healing that needed to be fixed or needed to be tended to and nurtured, that I never would have, I never thought. So then I thought, okay, now I can help people because I got to this point and well, shit, it didn't work. So now what? So I've been able to, over the past 10 years, kind of do this inner healing work that has allowed me to get to the place that I am now. And I now know that I can help people regardless of what size I am. They are not, if you are a person who's looking for healing, inner healing, and kind of wanting to go on that journey of kind of feeling like you can do anything you set your mind to and that you can show up for life with confidence and self-worth and respect and value, regardless of what size you are. And so that's really why I'm doing all the things that I'm doing now, which leads me into just sharing with you guys a little bit about how I am helping people with those things. So I hope those tips were helpful first. And you can kind of let me know in the comments if you would ever consider ditching the scale or if you have already and how that feels for you. And what your experience has brought you in regards to how life got better for you after you ditched the scale. So before I head out of here, if you guys are not in my community already, I have a group called Imperfectly Perfect You. We are a group of women empowering each other to find self-love at any size through many different holistic and mystic approaches on doing that inner healing work that's allowing us to show up for life as we're supposed to be in this moment without having to change the way we look, change our weight, any of those things. So pop on over to there. The link to that group is in the description of this video. And then if you guys do not know already, I am launching a transformative self-love revolution with Martina. It is a group coaching program that is available to you for life. When you sign up for this program, you will have me standing beside you throughout your self-love journey, because our self-love journeys are not just check off the list and you're done. It's a very linear journey that takes you years and years and years to kind of develop and grow and tend to and nurture. And I don't want you to feel alone through that journey. I felt alone for a long time as I was discovering that about myself and kind of getting to know my inner healing parts of me that needed to be healed. And so that's exactly why I've created this program, is because I do not want you to feel alone, and I want you to have a community that's going to support you in your journey and help you and give you all these tools that are going to be able to support you to find that self-love at any size, to show up for life with confidence, to be that person who you always knew you wanted to be, but you just didn't know how to get there. And so that is my mission, is to help women with that. And so if you want to learn more about that program, the link is in the description of this video. Right now, you can use my coupon code MAGICVIP in order to get 40% off that program right now for founding members. So anyone who's going to be joining us at the launch price is going to be getting 40% off of the program. So Magic VIP is that coupon to see the 40% off price. So excited about that program. In that program, we're going to be learning about mindful eating, body positive practices, self-care practices. There's a whole yoga and meditation library in there. There is 3 other women that are my magical super friends in that program who are going to be guiding you through different kind of mystic and holistic practices to be able to just expand that journey and your tools that you have to heal. And so much more, you guys. There's so much in there, and I'm so excited to share it with you guys. So if you have any questions, feel free to message me or find me on Facebook or Instagram, and I would love to chat with you about that. And that is all, you guys. So I hope you're doing well, and I hope this was helpful for you this morning, and I hope it inspires you to start to think about the possibility of how life could be different if we ditch the scale. So I hope you guys have a good day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.